Yo, what's up? It's podcast time. Welcome everybody. How are we? I'm just gonna go boop 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 boop. Hello, it's me, Mr. Goose. It's me, Andrew. Welcome back to the international podcast, the Paddock Podcast. Jeez, can you tell I've not been doing this for a while? Hold on. When was the last time we did a podcast? 2 weeks ago. Fucking hell, that's a long time. I hope everyone's doing okay. Just before we start, just wanted to let you know that this podcast is actually sponsored today by SFR, Supreme Formula Racing. More on that in the middle of the podcast, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, I need to introduce my guys because right now they're not actually currently here. They're muted, but they will be in a second. Ready? 3, 2, 1, boom. They are here, ladies and gentlemen. Joining me in the podcast today is Mr. Mike Wallace. How are you, my friend?
Hi. Very well, thank you.
Good. And Mr. Scott Wyatt is here with us as well.
Hi.
There we go. Sounds just as gay as ever. I'm not joking. Right. Anyway, let's get started on today's big hitters. All right. You've probably seen the title. Yesterday was Fuji. Pretty awesome race. It produced some really awesome battles. I think there's no other way to describe that. Watching a Porsche and a Ferrari go head to head for 2 laps straight, where they're literally side by side each other, going through traffic, that's probably the best moment ever. So we'll be covering that today. It was the WRC, was at the Acropolis Rally in Greece. What a beautiful rally it always is. It causes drama, and it is just such a rough surface. It's so cool to watch cars smash into things. And then, yeah, we've also got some of the stuff that Mike's been watching. Mike, what have you been watching?
I've been watching the World Superbikes.
World Superbikes and British stuff as well.
British GT.
British GT. Hell yes. And also discussions with Scott about IndyCar, because that's all he watches.
No, not just IndyCar, MotoGP. I'll tell you my experience, though, of the World Endurance Championship. Now, I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go for a piss, and I tuned in on my phone to watch the race, and next thing I know, it was over, and I'd just woken up. I know it was a great race, but I didn't quite get to experience the fun, so I'm quite sad.
I had to watch highlights, unfortunately, just because I was working all weekend. But I do have the results for you. That's why it is the sort of semi-headline event along with the Acropolis Rally. We're going to talk a little bit. I did have it up on my phone, but it's gone. What the fuck? Do you know, I absolutely hate when, you know, like Google on your phone, you like close it and then you open it again and nothing's on it. I literally had it up and it's not there. Okay, World Endurance Championship, please. There we go. That's it. Right. Listen, chat. Listen. This is probably one of the coolest things you've ever seen, because it ended up pretty good. Hold on. Where the fuck? Give me results, please. Give me results. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your results from the World Endurance Championship. P1 was the number 7 Toyota Gazoo Racing, with Mike Conway, Kamui Kobayashi, and Juan Maria Lopez. In second was Toyota Gazoo Racing, and Sebastian Buemi, Brendan Hartley, and Ryo Hirakawa. In third was Porsche Penske Motorsport with Kevin Estra, Andre Lottier, and Lawrence Van Tor. So that's pretty cool. Ferrari finished in 4th for the number 50 car, the number 51 in 5th. The Hertz Team Jota, which is another Porsche, finished in 6th. In 7th was the Peugeot Total Energies car. In P8 was another Peugeot. P9 was the Proton competition. And P10 was the Cadillac after some contact in the race. The Team WRT finished first in the LMP2 class. United Autosports, while qualified on pole for LMP2, couldn't live up to its expectations. The number 22 finishing in second in class. Team WRT bringing home third as well. So first and third for them. We're going to then move down to the the fact that Floyd Van Wall Racing Team finished behind every LMP2 known to man. In 23rd, but in overall, but the winner of the GTE class was the AF Corsa of the number 54 car. Corvette finishing second, even though they have rounded up their championship already. They've pretty much taken that home with them. And in third was the Cassell Racing Ferrari. The Ferrari's always been very, very strong at Fuji, so it's no surprise that it's 1, 2, 3 for mid-engine cars. The Iron Dames and the Porsche finished fourth, while they qualified second for the race. And the Project One is Rexy. Finished just behind them as well. So Porsche not doing too well around there today. And that is your results for that round of the championship. One more to go. It's the 8 hours of Bahrain. You know, it's just beautiful. An awesome track to watch endurance on as well. We're going to then talk about the WRC, because I do need to get Rally TV up for you, because I do have all the results on there. It's so weird not calling it WRC Plus, but there's so much more in this now. Right. Let me find it. I was having a look at this. Where is it? We're in Rally Chile next, in 16 days' time. It's been a while since we've seen that, isn't it? Right, let's get the results up for you, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, come on. Hurry the fuck up. Hurry up! Stop being so
Absolutely thrilling coverage here at the International Paddock Podcast.
Shoot me in the foot. Okay. Right. Listen here. I've got the results for you. It was a 1-2 for Toyota. Danny Sordo coming home in third place, I believe. If that's everything. Let me have a look. No, this is just one singular stage. Why? Give me the final results. No, that is the final results. Oh, so it is. Okay. Cali Rovenpera is your race winner, or your rally winner for the Acropolis Rally. Elfin Evans in P2, Danny Sordo in P3, Oit Tanak in the Ford in P4, Ezepeka Lapi P5. Takamoto Katsuta was basically 6th. He nearly got fucked by the new Fabias in the WRC2 category, because, you know, gods. And Gus Greensmith. Andreas Mikkelsen, Gus Greensmith, P1 and P2 in WRC2 with the new Fabias, and Johan Russell making an appearance in his Citroen C3 WRC2 car as well. So that is that. Are you gonna give me? So
George Russell's French cousin.
Yeah, we're gonna on Sebastian Ogier managing to pull himself a little bit closer to the championship, but to the end of the race, didn't manage it because, well, he did hit a fucking rock, didn't he?
Ooh.
Big smash for him. If you've not seen any of that, I would recommend having a look.
Smash.
It was quite the hit he took when he was going in. There's no results for WRC3 because I believe they weren't competing. And the Junior World Championship wasn't there. Because it's probably just too hard for them, but the WRC2 was there.
No, I'm pretty sure Junior WRC was there.
Why has it not got results for it then?
Well, they crowned their champion, sure. Um,
I haven't got it. I didn't see anything on WRC3 that weekend though.
well, no, they crowned their champion this weekend. I don't know if they were at the Acropolis rally or if they were doing a separate rally.
They might have been
Trying to
doing
load
an
the
ERC rally
WRs.
instead of the Acropolis one, but I've got your results for WRC2 here anyway. I've given you your top three. In fourth was Adrian Formeau in the Fiesta Mark II. It's not a Mark II, it's a Mark 8. Grigor Munster, what a fucking amazing name, in the Fiesta, the M Sports Fiesta in P5. P6 was Katanovic, and he was in a Fabia. Laurie Juna, who's a random Finnish guy, in a Fabia as well. Robert Vervis, who's pretty good in a Fiesta in P8. Andres Cachon in the Citroen C3, one of two in the championship. And, well, Nikolai Gryazin, who, well, he's Russian, so we don't care about him. Even though he's actually a decent driver, he's driving a Fabia. Okay, that's the end of the Acropolis Rally results for you
No,
guys.
no, 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 no. It's not because did do a little bit of digging. The Junior WRC did race there,
Why have I not got the
uh,
results for it then on here?
and William Creighton from
Oh yeah, he did.
Ireland
Yeah, I was gonna say I did see something
was
on that.
crowned the champion with Liam Regan as his co-driver. Um, brilliant, brilliant stuff. Obviously, it's nice to have a bit of success for an Irish driver after the events that happened in April with the death of Craig Breen, who was personally probably my favorite racing driver. And I'm really happy for him. And I think everyone should be because these guys all do a great job at what they do. No, Rally's not in a good position that it's in right now, but they're trying to recover. There's talk of Subaru returning to the championship after Ford's exit being teased. So we'll see what happens with them because
But would we
they've
see?
got.
But M Sport surely won't go with Subaru. They've been Ford for years. They wouldn't do that. There's no reason for them
I
to do that, is there? So we're good to
I
go on that
don't know
sense.
what's happening in the WRC
No, it's a bit sad. Anyway,
because
we'll move on quick because we've got a lot to cover today. We have discussions about the biking. Mr. Wallace has got that for us. Hit us with it, Mike.
Right, we had round 9 of the World Superbikes at Magny-Cours in France. What I've seen, not very eventful. I don't know if you've seen it, Scott, but there wasn't really much to talk about, really. But say
I
race
was
one, championship
flicking the
leader,
channels a wee bit, but
championship
nothing was
leader
happening.
Alvaro Batusta had bike issues and dropped his engines cut out apparently while he was in, I think he was in second, third place, and he dropped down the pack but limped back to finish 10th. But the first race is won by Toprak and on Yamaha. Michael Rinaldi and the Ducati was second with Jonathan Ray, the first GB rider, on a Kawasaki in P3. Scott Redding was 7th, Alex Lowes was 8th, and Brad Rate was 22nd. Then we had the Super Pole. Again, Toprak took the win from Bastuta on the Ducati second, Jonathan Ray was third again. Brad Ray was 15th, Scott Redding 20th, and unfortunately Alex Lowes had a crash, and due to that crash, he was declared unfit to race in race 2. Pole sitter in race 2 was Top Rat, Trot Rack, and he had a mare of a start, gifting the old shot to the Brit Jonathan Ray. But he was soon passed by Bastuta, who went clear. There was a red flag after Scott Redding clashed with Ogurta, and he was given a double long lap penalty for the collision. After the restart, Bastuta took the lead and held on to the win. Top Rat was second and Jonathan Ray was third. Bradley Ray was 17th and Scott Redding 19th. The championship still, Bautista, is in the lead with 467 points. Top Rat's got 410 and Jonathan Ray is third with 290. Alex Lowe's lies in P8 with 129 points. Scott Redding is 11th on 108. Brad Ray is in 18th place on 19 points, and Tom Sykes is 20th with 11 points. There's no World Superbikes next week, but the British Superbikes is at Alton Park next week, which is 6 miles up the road from where I live. So
You're going to be there.
I'll be listening to them. No, I'm not going.
Why?
Got too much on this weekend. Got too much on, mate.
That's not like you.
I'm a busy boy, you know. I've got a business to run.
Fine. Okay. We'll move on very slowly onto British GT. Will we? You've got the results for that. I know you didn't get a chance to watch them.
No, I haven't had a chance actually, but yeah, I've got the results. I think you'd be able to fill me in better with the news after the race.
Yep.
But GT3, Centurion Motorsport BMW took the win with Darren Lung and Dan Harper. Second was the Beach Dean Motorsports Aston Martin Vantage with Andrew Howard and Ross Gunn. And third was the Two Seas Motorsports Mercedes, James Cottingham and Johnny Adam. In the GT4, Academy Motorsports were also represented with the Ford Mustang driven by Eric Evans and Matt Cowley. R Racing Supersport Aston Martin Vantage was second with Josh Miller and Seb Hopkins. And Century Motorsports BMW, Michael Johnson and Chris Salkeld were third. And you were telling me last night, Andrew, that the championships was decided, was it yesterday?
Pretty much. Looking at Brands Hatch there, when we have your GT3 results, as you said, it's that basically the qualifying session with Johnny Adams and James Cottingham taking pole basically meant that no matter how many points they get, it's sort of over. There's no other way of describing it. You actually look at the even though race 1 in some ways for GT3 was not won, the actual race was not won by them, it's still pretty much set it in stone that there's no other way that anyone else can win it unless they, I think, get disqualified. I think, if we look at it. Let me try and see if I can pull up the results, because I did have the championship results up the other day, and I was working out. Where is it? Standings. There we go. Teams. Yeah, Two Seas Motorsports are 281 points total. They have absolutely dominated. The closest to them is Century Motorsport, and obviously they've only won 2 races, I believe. And it's really rough to see, but the Two Seas Motorsports, they've got 2 cars running in the championship. It's kind of like, very difficult to understand this otherwise, but 281.5 points over 149 points for Century Motorsport. It's tied up pretty much. There's no way, even with the endurance race at Donington Park, it's very difficult for them to really push that any farther. That's why they need to figure out how they're going to do it. I feel like it needs to be not so much team standings, but like car standings for that. But we do have the driver standings as well for you. James Cottingham and Johnny Adams are 162 points over Darren Long and Dan Harper's 149. So that just shows you, they have done quite well. If they do well in the next race, then and they need to beat the BMW in the next race to clinch the drivers' championship as well, and that'll be Johnny Adams' like 7th one. He's very good. But Ian Loggie and Jules Gounon as well with 2C's Motorsports in 119, and Jules on 107 because of other commitments elsewhere. Oh god, I need to sneeze. Ah! Oh, that came out of
That wasn't
nowhere.
a sneeze, that was a stabbing.
And Sean Balfe and Sandy Mitchell for the Balfe Motorsports team, 106.5 points there, so very, very close in that. And yeah, it's quite interesting to see because a lot of cars are maybe a little bit different in standings, obviously because different drivers are either doing different events, but James Cottingham and Johnny Adams, Dan Harper and Darren Long have competed in in all races this season in British GT, and it's very unlikely that they're the two that are going to get knocked off the podium. But either way, Ian Loggie, who's a Pro-Am driver but a very accomplished one, is going to be P3 if he beats Jules Gounon, which I doubt. But we will move on, and I digress. British GT pretty much tied up for this season, 1 round to go. What else do we have to chat about? We've got MotoGP. Did that happen this weekend? No. No. Anyway, I think it's time to talk about ERC. A lot has happened this week in Great Britain.
Oh, it has. It certainly has. Silverstone. In the managers, we carried on with the dominance of MCL, but his demise come in the 100 on Thursday, where he DNF'd. And again last night, we didn't have things go his own way. And he DNF'd last night. But the managers' pole was set by Master Bear, and he relinquished to MCL mid-race, but ended up finishing second. Dash Stappen was third, Exo was fourth, and Adrenal was fifth. But very entertaining race. We had just the one safety car, but a lot of penalties. There was 11 drivers with limits penalties and 4 DNFs. And one of those drivers that got penalties was our Mr. Goose. And one of those DNFs was our Mr. Goose. But
that's me. Hi.
I must say it wasn't entirely his own fault.
Can I explain myself?
I haven't finished yet, Andrew.
Oh, okay.
I haven't finished yet.
Okay. Yep.
I'm not defending him, but he had hard luck. He's come out with excuses that I don't believe, but things weren't his own fault.
Listen here, Mike.
Who?
I'm gonna say this. You knew my situation, right?
I did, mate. I did.
I don't know what it was with the game the other day, but once I'd got damage, so I got hit in the side pod, and after that moment, it seemed to be that my gearing down, it wouldn't do it quickly. And I'm not saying that it was a hardware issue, because I'm starting to understand now certain things about the game. But I'm going to say this. Some corners, I was gearing down, and I was trying to get it down the gears, like this, spamming it down, wasn't doing it. I would want to be in second, or third, and I'd still be in sixth. It's like, come on, what's going on? And I would have hit it 6 times, 7 times, and it's not gone down. So I'm not sure if there was a debouncing issue, because it wouldn't have been, because I was gearing up fast enough, I tested that, but gearing down wasn't. I then went and raced on another game, and it was perfectly fine. So I don't understand why, and maybe it's just F1. There's been a lot of bugs in F1 23 over the past few weeks, and I don't know why they have appeared. They just seem to like get the game perfect near enough on launch. A couple of issues here and there. they fix one thing, but in the process they break 7 others, and it's a wee bit silly, really. 'Cause I feel like I could have been a lot better in that race. I actually think I had a poised chance, even though I barely practiced for the race, and I didn't manage to get to the end. It was just frustrating. There was no
You did
way I was
all
ever
right.
going
You
to get there.
you just didn't get the rub of the green, mate. You had hard luck, and that's it to me in a nutshell. You had hard luck. You
Yeah.
didn't do anything wrong. You didn't, it's just one of them.
Oh well.
But this is unofficial because I haven't had the actual official results yet from ERC because I think there's still a few incidents that are being looked at. But MCL is still in the lead in the championships, 161. Master Bear second with 115, and Shaggy is in P3 with 91. The constructors, Red Bull are still leading, but we had a shift round. P2 is now Aston Martin, and Alpine dropped third from second. Then the problems Andrew was explaining just about EA giving us problems. We witnessed that. We had two commentators on. There was a desync. I was commentating on one race. The other commentator was commentating on another. It all happened because the lobby host desynced, and everything went back to how it was later in the race when he obviously got back to things. But we saw the demise of MCL. He DNF'd. Pole was in the 100. This is the 100, isn't it? Sorry, I haven't mentioned it. This is the 100 on Thursday night.
Thursday night, 8 p.m.
Yeah. Pasteleo took pole in the 126.2, and he actually took the win. Pro Ricardo was second, Dorsey Dave third, and Little Mick was fourth. Again, penalties were a feature. There was 11 again with what's the word I'm looking for, Andrew? With track limit penalties. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
And a couple are actually as well speeding the pits. We had 3 safety cars, and fastest lap was taken by Rookie with a 128.1.
Not bad.
On to Sunday last night. We did make the observation that there was 7 drivers from Portugal in the
crazy,
Sunday race last night.
It was the Algarve
nice
taking over, it seemed. And we talked about it's the Portuguese Armada coming for our ships, and we needed to duck and hide our children and hide our kids. So, if you are Portuguese and you want to hurt me, just remember that I am just a commentator. I don't do anything else. There we go.
Yeah, as this is the Sunday night last night's race. As from the 100 on Thursday, Pasteleo took the fastest lap. They went 25.9 and also went on in the race. He was quite dominant, wasn't he, Andrew?
Yeah, there's no other way.
He was a different class, and he has been promoted to the next tier for next week.
Pasteleo has been this season. I think he's been one of the upstanding and outright fastest drivers on the grid. Bearing in mind, obviously, that MCL is quick, but Pasteleo last night worked his strategy. He basically undercut everyone in front of him and just pushed for the win. There was no other way about it.
Definitely dominated it. Absolutely dominated.
It was unfortunate for him though, because he did have a time penalty, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He had a time penalty quite early on in the race, actually.
Yeah.
We had 7 drivers last night with time penalties. Pasteleo, as I say, took pole. Fastest lap was MCL. He took that before he DNF'd. There was 2 DNFs, which weren't too bad, and no safety cars last night.
It was very good. We thought we had one. But
we
then
thought we had one
because Gas just retired on track, and I don't know. I mean, I think he's sort of lucky that there was nobody affected by it, but it could have been quite bad.
I think it is being discussed actually.
Yeah, I don't
But
know why he did it either, because he was actually doing okay, and then just
yeah,
retired him out of nowhere. So don't know.
yeah.
That was an
Anyway,
interesting one.
yeah. Despite his penalties, Pastrello still took a comfortable win from Bird in P2. Lord NL was third, Pro Ricardo fourth, and Wolf, uh, 2 seasons ago champion, back on foot on song with a fifth place position. And there was no change in the constructors. Alfa Romeo still lead with 220 points from Ferrari with 173, and then third are Alpine with 125.
Oh, there we go.
And that's ERC for this week.
Perfect.
Before we do go,
Yeah.
this week in the managers is the last week before the contract window. So targets that were set for drivers at the beginning of the season, if they haven't met them, they will have to get another car, another drive. Obviously, managers have the pick of whoever's there in the pot, shall we say? So it's quite an exciting time, and I don't know if you've seen the targets that were
I did.
put
Yeah.
out today.
I think there's a
There's
couple of
quite a
drivers
few.
that are not going to
Yeah,
manage it. Yeah.
yeah. There's at least 5 that can't manage it, and I would say 2 or 3 that are borderline whether they will make it or not. Obviously, all depends, and it's Singapore as well, which isn't a forgiving track.
Well, it's the
So
updated version of Singapore, so it's more forgiving now than it ever has been. They've gotten rid of the bridge gantry section at sector 3, so you pretty much are nearly straight lining it near the end. So
yeah,
it should be much easier to should be much easier
Hashtag
to
bring
overtake.
back the sling. Hashtag restore the third sector to its normal
No, we're not
I
putting
uh,
sling.
enjoyed
No,
that
we're
burn
not
round
putting
there.
sling fucking chicane on this game. Would be death, bro. Not happening.
If you get that right, though, that's section that Scott's on about now. It is nice to drive in if you get it right.
Yeah, and then you end up in the wall if you don't. So
Yeah,
or on a curb. But no, it's much easier now. I think. I haven't driven the new variant. I'm gonna drive it tomorrow in preparation for Wednesday night. I'm gonna race, boys. And then to add to that, we'll see how that goes. Wednesday night, 8 p.m. for ERC managers. Be there, be a square, because I'll be there and I'm not a square. So what's going on. Thursday night, 8 p.m. for the
just
hundreds.
keep out of our Rick's way because he needs 17 points.
Well, he better get out of my way because I don't need any.
He'll qualify further up grid than you anyway. So
You sure about that? I think I've nearly outqualified him like 2 weeks on the trot now since I started racing, so I don't know.
Hey, why don't you challenge him the underpants challenge?
Underpant challenge? Nah, I'm alright.
Hey, like he's wearing knickers.
No, because he's look, I upset him the other day with comments I made to the ERC Insider, and I want to see if Ricky can give Ferrari what they want, because I mean, I'm being honest, right? Conversation's all about Ferrari in ERC, and it seems to be, right? And I'm being honest. I made very, very clear and concise comments to the Insider. I'll tell you exactly what was said in terms of the interview. So he asked me, what was it? So that's good to hear. Now you can clearly understand the situation at Ferrari with the constant strategic errors in a dreamland, or what would you do different as a team principal? Is it time for a driver change, or is it just a run of bad luck? To clarify, the whole paddock clearly sees the mistakes made at Ferrari. So I feel like so this is what I said. I feel like Ferrari have a good team of drivers. Don't get me wrong, as a team owner of a GT team, Team Alba 43, I think the team principal needs to sit down with his drivers and watch their performance with them. Be honest, don't hold back and give it to them straight. Ferrari are fast but make too many mistakes, all due to driver error, not team error. So to get on top of that now is a very important move, and for them even it means a driver change. if that means a driver change, but I always feel like that's a last resort. That's all I said, and that ruffled some feathers. What was it Ricky said to me? He says, I think Goose should stick to commentary. And I just was like, ooh, spicy. It was funny. But you know, that was a good little thing after that. Interesting. I do have my theories on who the insider is, but I don't think it's time to air them.
No, leave it because it's good. I like it. You know, I did boycott. I did boycott him.
I'm gonna tell you who I think it is.
Not on air. Don't do it on air. Tell me later.
I'll do it after. Do it after.
But
if you guys want to find out who I think who it is, then subscribe to my OnlyFans at www.onlyfans.com.
I know what you can do, Andrew. Them that want to know your ideas of the insider, subscribe to your YouTube channel and watch 3 videos. And when they've watched 3 videos, you will tell them your thoughts on it.
Yeah, please do. Papa Goose is my name on. Nah, subscribe to International Paddock on YouTube because why wouldn't you be? This is where this is ending up, and if you're on YouTube right now, why don't you hit that like and subscribe button? Yeah. I think this is just actually filled in perfectly for for today's sponsor of the video, and that is Supreme Formula Racing. If you've never ever heard of Supreme Formula Racing, then now I'm here to tell you exactly what it is. Supreme Formula Racing is a racing league set up by actually one of our I don't know how to describe him. He's one of our podcast guys. He comes in, Mr. Jamie O'Connor, run also by another close friend of mine, Kieran Wright, as well. He actually streams on Twitch himself. He's doing a lot of Assassin's Creed at the moment, but that's besides the point. SFR are opening up their doors for both ACC and Formula 1 coming in the coming weeks. So to stay tuned on all of that, you know where to go, you know what to do. You need to jump in to our Discord, and it's very easy to find that. It's in the description of our YouTube and on our on our Twitch. Discord? The Discord's on our Twitch as well. So make sure to do that. It is our only social link. You should only fucking find out anything from us on Discord. And that's where it should be. Supreme Formula Racing has a link in our channel as well for you to go and find out what's going on. It'll be in our partners section, and you'll be able to see and access all of their channels today as well. To sign up, all the sign-ups are live. If you want to race on ACC, it's live on Grid Finder at the moment. F1 hasn't gone live on Grid Finder just yet. But to race on PC for Assetto Corsa Competizione, it is also live on simracing.gp. So you know where to find that as well. Alright, add over. Let's move on. Right. Mike, I have a question for you, okay?
Hi.
We talked about this before on another podcast way back, probably in season 1. Right. If you could pick anyone on this earth to be on a desert island with, who would it be and where would you go?
Right. What, we've got to choose which desert island I'll go on?
No, just like pick whereabouts the island would be. Pacific, Atlantic?
Oh, yeah, Pacific. Definitely Pacific.
Yeah. Alright. And who would you
The
take with you?
Pacific Ocean.
Just one person or a couple or what?
One person, and it can be anyone on the earth. He's having to really think about this. This is just a random question that came into my head, and he's now having to think about this very aggressively. I like this.
Thingy Stafford. Oh.
Who the fuck is Thingy Stafford? Yeah.
Thingy Stafford. Woody does Bear Grylls stuff.
Do you mean just Bear Grylls?
No, not Bear Grylls. Can't stand him. Ed Stafford.
Ed Stafford, okay.
But I'm thinking about my sexual needs as well. So I'd perhaps take that does Spring Watch.
I don't
What's her name? Michaela Strachan.
Ed Stafford.
Yeah, Ed Stafford. He's twice the man of fucking Bear Grylls.
Right,
Google him.
chat. Right. This guy.
Yeah.
Alright. Cool. As you would take.
That's him.
Alright. Interesting. Very interesting. I don't know, Scott, who would you take? And where would you go?
No, I would go to. Well, no, this person already had an island. His name is Jeffrey.
No, right. I see. I see where this is going. I
You
see.
fucking
I
prick.
see where this is going.
But
Watch what you say.
He was accused of something.
No, right.
Went
Okay.
to
Yeah.
prison,
Right. Bye,
and he
Scott.
died in
Bye,
prison.
Scott. Bye.
No.
Bye, Scott.
No.
That's a good question, Scott. Thanks for answering the question, Scott. Now moving on. Papa Chaps is on tonight. 8:30 p.m. Listen. Jeffrey with the island does not get mentioned on stream. Only in private parties, huh? That's where he did all his bidding, wasn't it? Right. We're gonna move on to Papa Champs. We're racing tonight. Scott, fill us in on what's happening today.
Okay, so today we have a little bit of a different race. So before the actual race begins, we will do a 3-lap race, and the drivers will have one objective: do not win. Specifically, you want to finish. Okay, I know I initially said 10th place wins, but I think it would be a bit more reasonable if we did like an 8th place wins because of the lower numbers. Okay?
So
If you
basically,
finish 8th,
it's
you
going to be
win.
3 people driving backwards pretty much on this race, right?
Yep, and I don't know how that's going to work. If it goes on too long, we'll just can it and just give out no points. But sure, it's something that I want to experiment with because it's a game that's been on the F1 stuff for a long time. And if we can get everyone to comply with it, then we'll see. Or alternatively, we could have one of you guys just drive around in first, complete the race, and then there'll be a timer limit on it. But we'll still have all the shits and giggles. But actually, no, don't.
So what
don't
you're saying
bother
is
with
you're
that.
going to
We'll
set
have
the grid
everyone.
and I get to win a race.
No, not the commentators. That's a bad idea. Don't let the commentators in the race. All the rules will be turned off and all the
Fuck you,
damage will be
Scott.
turned off for this 3-lap race. Anything goes. If you want to kill someone, kill someone. If you want to drive backwards, you can. Anything goes. All you need to do is do anything in your power to finish 8th, 7th, 6th, somewhere around that range, I'd say tonight. And then we get to the actual Grand Prix. So after we've done all of that, we get to the Grand Prix, and the grid order is predetermined based on your championship position, where all of the highest drivers in the championship will start at the back, and all the lowest in the championship will start at the front. Meaning that if you're struggling to get yourself into the Pap John's playoffs, it's the last opportunity tonight, you better take advantage of that because it's probably the best chance you're going to get. We have lots of drivers still trying to get their place in it, and if you win, you're in. I'd say TM Kirby, his slot is secured in 8th pretty much already, unless specific circumstances play out. Those circumstances involve Winai. Winai, we're not too sure if he's going to be able to make the race. He has been in contact with us. He says if his attic is in humane condition with the temperature, he will race. But so I hope he shows up because if it misses out in the playoffs because of that, then it'll be a shame. However, if you don't make it to the playoffs, you still get to race for the Mickey Mouse Cup. where you will win a Mickey Mouse Cup. Possibly, like, another thing that's going to be an issue with these guys is how am I going to convince them to give me their address so I can send them their, or like their PO box so I can send their prices over?
You just send them all to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, yeah, that's the alternate.
Just an idea, Scott. I know I'm not. I don't want to put things in your head. I
But they
don't want
also
to
need to
try and
send, with
dictate
that
everything.
though, I'm going to say this, with your address, you also need to send me your account details and your sort code for your bank. And your full name. I need all that as well. Sorry.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I'm just going back onto this 10th place position or 8th place position, and I'm thinking now as a driver, I would be driving reverse all time. Why don't you just put like say a 10-minute time limit? Whoever's eighth or ninth or
Yeah,
whatever on 10
well,
minutes.
that's very difficult to judge them. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
If it
yeah.
does go on too long, I might sacrifice myself and drive because I'm leading the championship anyway. So it was more for my enjoyment than for the fairness missing.
Right, okay.
But next season we're planning to double down on that idea, and at Monaco we're gonna do a no rules race. Ooh, sneak peek. Um, this time it'll be 5 laps, and there'll be no finishing 10th bullshit. It will be anything goes, and your goal is to win, and we'll award championship points and a playoff spot to the winner.
Okay, better be no damage though.
No damage, obviously,
Yeah, gonna
for that
say.
one.
Yeah. Anyway,
But
I think that's quite interesting. I like that. So we're
Yeah.
going on to tonight's race. Where are we tonight, Mr. Scott?
we are at the Spa-Francorchamps circuits,
Circuit
and
de Francorchamps.
it's a circuit I'm very familiar with, and probably my best circuit, actually, ironically, in terms of my pace, just in general. But I hate the circuit, like on a personal level. I hate it, but I'm the best at it. Doesn't make sense.
Oh, sweet. Right, we've got some little things to talk about here with International Paddock. You would have noticed some things are changing slowly in Discord. A lot of things are happening. We've slowed down. We have slowed down. The reason for that is simple. We have started implementing everything that we need in the perfect fashion. There's no need to keep adding to things just yet until we perfect what we're doing. That said, the changes in the Discord are pretty simple. If you haven't seen Discord and you haven't used any of our emojis, you need to. Cal17F1 is become an emoji. Alright? He didn't ask to be one, and, you know, I'm sure he hates me for it, but he is now an emoji. So you get to see beautiful Cal17F1, and you can use his face to describe something that you saw on track. I'm also announcing this right now, live. For everyone who is part of ERC, we are announcing a new competition for you guys to take part in. It's simple, right? Every race that we do with ERC, okay, there's loads of great moments. Some absolutely breathtaking overtakes, some really funny comments made from the commentators, and even some just absolute carnage that goes on track sometimes. I'm offering you this lifeline. Okay, you want to be a winner? You want to win something? This is your opportunity, right?
Hold up.
You have the
Can I just
opportunity to win a £25 Xbox voucher at the end of the season from now. If you post, you have to watch our streams. You have to. So these are the rules. Okay, simple. I'm gonna give you this. We have. You have to follow us on Twitch. You have to. It has to be you that follows us on Twitch. Not your friend, not your mother, not your father, not your dead
You
cousin.
can ask your friends.
Okay?
You can
But
ask
you
your
can
friends.
ask them if they want to watch. Okay? Simple as. Okay? This is one competition out of two that we're announcing. Okay? You've got to stay tuned for the other one though, because it's important. Okay? You have to clip your the best moment that you think from each stream, okay, and throw them into the Discord, okay. There may be a channel set up in ERC for you guys, but most likely it might be on our Discord. So you have to join our Discord. You have to post what you think is the best moment from the racing that you've watched that week, okay? And at the end of the season, we'll pick the best 5. Judged by the guys here in the podcast, all of us will sit down on the podcast and review your submissions, and you will get to see us rank everything live on the podcast, and the winner will be given a £25 voucher for Xbox sent to you directly so that you can spend it on whatever you want. Remember, it's an Xbox voucher. You can't watch porn on Xbox. I mean, you can, but I mean, why would you use your Xbox money? You know, why don't you buy some skins on Fortnite? You know, or if you're like Minden or that, you know, buy premium for World of Warships. I don't know, but you just do something with it. All right, it's an opportunity to win £25 of real money on Xbox. So do it now. It's the only way. So, starting from this week, from this Wednesday all the way through to the end of the season, you have the opportunity to win that cash. All you need to do is simple. You have to follow us on Twitch. You have to submit your entries. Just submit an entry. Doesn't matter. It can be one. It could be every race. It doesn't make a difference. Submit your entry, and we will review each entry live on Twitch as well. Another thing to add is that it's probably a good idea for you to watch it live so you can clip it as it happens, because the first clip to come in from each moment wins. That is going to be the one that is submitted. So if someone enters the same competition as you enters the competition with the same clip, whoever posted it first, they're the ones that are getting rights to it because they were quicker than you. So you know what to do. Watch it live. Get it there as it happens, alright? And, God knows, win yourself some money. Oh, and, Michael even say that, he wouldn't turn £25 of real money on Xbox, would you?
I really wouldn't. For just watching videos? No.
Exactly.
Get it done.
Just watching our streams, picking out your favourite moment and clipping them on Twitch, sending them us live so that we can watch them as well. That's an important thing for you to do, because everyone needs money, okay? This day and age, this could be your way in to the real world of videography, innit? Nah, I'm only joking. And we'll also make a little clip video of all the top 5 that we choose as well, that will go onto our YouTube channel at the end of the season. So that if you didn't catch us ranking them live on the podcast, then you'll be able to see what we picked as our top 5 in a nice little YouTube video as well. Wow, okay.
Still got a lot to discuss today. I have sent you to an image, by the way. Mark Webber.
Oh, Scott, put your ass away, man!
Yeah, I'll do that in a sec. But Mark Webber put that up on Instagram just a couple of hours ago, and I think that's just really sad, but also really funny.
He's at the McLaren Technology Centre, and he's in a Porsche.
Yeah.
Where have you sent it, Scott?
2012.
Where's that gone to?
On your Discord, Mike.
Let me open this in the browser, and I will.
Yes.
Let me get.
It's an interesting image. If you look at the date, and you also look at the caption.
Oh yeah.
Rolling Stones, start me up. Best 9/11 ever, and it's the fact that it's the date. I don't think that's intentional. That's definitely not intentional. All right.
Oh no, I know it is intentional. He knows what he's doing. Right.
This is great.
We still have MotoGP and IndyCar to discuss.
MotoGP wasn't on this weekend, though.
No, it was. They were at Misano. And the Martinator absolutely dominated the weekend. What a performance. Pole by like 4 attempts, won the sprint, won the main Grand Prix. He's now only 36 points off the championship lead. Bagnaia is getting really, really shaky in his boots, and Martinier is arriving. 99% faith, though. It's very unlikely that Martinier will win this championship, Jorge Martin. Pedro Acosta is still doing good in Moto2. He's having a good time. And David Alonso, brilliant in Moto3, got the win. Beautiful performance. Amazing to see him still doing well. But that wasn't the highlight of the racing highlight of the weekend for everyone, I reckon, who was watching it. Would have been the NTT IndyCar Series finale at Laguna Seca.
Yes.
Holy bejesus Christ Almighty! What a race!
Scott McLaughlin. Sorry, finished finished third in the championship. Come on, I have to.
Yeah, he just about beat Pato. Poor Pato. It did have, and they described it as the last day at school vibe of it, where championship was over, no one was really fighting for anyone, nobody really gave a shit, so they just went and had a bit of fun. There was a lot of accidents, there was a lot of shit going on. Sweden, civil war, teammate civil war, and the safety car ran out of fuel. We genuinely
That's a
had
typical
about
American thing. I'm so sorry.
we had about 2 or 3 laps of safety car. The safety car comes out again because caution came out instantly on the restart because they put a terrible restart zone, and there's a big pile up at the back as always. And then they cut to the pit lane. No, it's Laguna Seca. I said it was Laguna Seca.
I didn't see anything on IndyCar this weekend except from Scott McLaughlin winning. Well, not winning, but coming third.
Scott Dixon won.
Oh, there you go.
Then McLaughlin got second. I thought it was a very fun race. People were like, "It's embarrassing." When, yes, the driving standards were absolutely terrible, but everyone had fun.
Oh yeah.
Will Power turned around after the race and says, "Yeah, it was a shit season, it's terrible, but that was a fun race. That was proper, classic, vintage IndyCar. That I love that." And I think most of the drivers loved it. They were having beef after the race. Cal Twerkwood and Callum Ilott having a bit of a Twitter scrap after, and that's what you love to see. Very professional as always. And the safety car running out of fuel has to be the highlight of the season.
Definitely.
Because the safety car that comes out, right, caution, and then about 2 or 3 laps, Pato O'Ward was leading. So he essentially was the safety car because they cut to the pit lane and they've got this fuel tank and they're filling it up. About 5 minutes before about 5 minutes before it happened, Marshall Pruitt tweeted, "How's the pace car doing on fuel?" Well,
Marshall called it. I love Marshall. He's fucking great. But he called it so badly, man. Commentator's curse. That's what that is. He's not a commentator. He's a news reporter. But fucking hell, that's just crazy. That's just stupid though.
Brilliant.
But overall, I thought the IndyCar season itself is very exciting, but it's a real shame that it's only 17 races long and it ends in early September.
I was gonna say that because there's a lot of seasons. I can understand seasons finishing in October, November, right? Because that gives plenty of time. But they're not having to develop cars. They're only allowed to develop certain parts. There's not a time restraint as such on that shit. So why are they ending it so soon? I think there's a lot more tracks that they could go to with IndyCar in America. There's loads of tracks in America. And there's no reason that they cannot add. They race in 2 Canadian tracks, right? They don't race in any Mexican tracks.
One.
Mosport.
No, they don't race there.
They not race in Mosport. Sorry, that's NASCAR.
They only
that
race
at
Toronto.
Mosport. Sorry. Why don't they race at Mosport? Why don't they race at one of the very few Mexican circuits? And why don't they do an international race again? They've got the money to do it.
They're doing an all-star race next year.
Yeah, that would be cool because that's what NASCAR do.
For $1 million. They're
Yeah.
going to the Thermal Club, which is a racing circuit I've heard of purely because they do testing there. I know it's in the middle of nowhere. And if you're going to do an all-star race and go for a big cash prize in an IndyCar race, do it on a proper fast 1.5 mile oval, tight, close pack racing, and then give your big money to the one who can win.
I think they need to do it at Road America. And they need to do it, you know, it has to be full distance. None of this pouncy bullshit. Full distance.
Wait a minute, didn't IndyCar do something like that before where they like had a race? I think it was the final race. They had one guy start from last and they told him if he could win, he'd get $5 million.
Yeah, something like that. I reckon,
Yeah.
right? Who do you think would turn up for that race, okay? Out of all the racing drivers in the world, who do you think would get a seat to be in the All-Star race? If you could pick, like, let's all go around the table here and pick one driver each.
I'd
Max.
love to see Max there. I'd love to see that.
I think Lewis would do it.
Definitely.
If it didn't clash with any of his other engagements. I think he would do it. But
I think Mr. Hulkenberg would do it. I think Mr. Bottas would do it.
I think, in the grand scheme of things, right, I'm going to step away from Formula 1. I'm going to pick an LMP driver. Alright. Someone who is relatively adverse to the culture of, and has actually raced in what was originally Champ Car. He was actually he was a champion in Champ Car, was it? Sebastian Bourdais. I reckon he would do it. I mean, he's already a really, really acclaimed driver, you know. Obviously races with Cadillac. I think he would do it. He also raced in Formula 1 at one point in his career as well, so I think.
I personally dislike Bourdais.
Why?
He's a prick. He's
Okay.
French. Wears fucking glasses whilst driving. What a nerd.
Oh, that's why. You see, that's not very fair on the boy. He's actually a really, really good driver. So
Wow, Bourdais. He's a Ford.
Jordan Taylor would do it.
champion.
100%
Oh, yeah.
Jordan Taylor would do it.
Fucking would love Rodney Sandstorm for it.
Yeah, Rodney Sandstorm. Maybe his brother would do it. Would it be the battle of the Taylors? Wayne Taylor would be sitting there fucking quaking his boots in the corner, be like, I could do IndyCar. But
I reckon I could do it. I once beat Connor Daly on Forza Motorsport, so I'm more than qualified to drive an
I
IndyCar.
once beat Joseph Newgarden on Forza Motorsport around Brands Hatch. All right, so piss off, yeah.
I also beat Joseph Newgarden on Forza Motorsport.
So good. But that's also the same because I've also beat Max Verstappen round his home circuit on F1, so I'm a bit of a god.
So have I.
We're too good. We should be racing in IndyCar. Why aren't we?
I remember I had beef with Newgarden.
Why?
Remember we were racing side by side for a position. It was an oval race. It was NASCAR's. It was Homestead on Forza. And this fucking prick saw Scott White like to beat him. I just punted me into the wall. Prick.
Yeah, he checked you, mate. He checked you. Alright, why didn't you check him? You should have done
Because
him.
he owned a lobby, he would have booted me out.
Yeah, but you would have won the race. Then you could say you beat Joseph Newgarden.
No, like I said, the only way Joseph Newgarden could beat me in a race is by taking me out.
Yeah, but like, doesn't make a difference. Because you
Two-time
did-
IndyCar champion, baby.
Yeah, but like, come on. Like, why didn't you check him? Because he obviously did it to you on purpose because you didn't do it to him. So
No, I like that.
about that. Aye. Yeah, carry on that sentence.
Hey,
Nah,
I
the
need to get
first
some
race
tea
did run
before
there.
Papa Champs.
I was up as inside. This was a previous race, and I missed the braking, and I got really high up into the wall. I was trying to avoid the wall, and I accidentally brake checked New Garden.
Oh well.
And you can see it on his stream. He was like, "Oh, this guy."
Is what it is. Well,
And he was
anyway,
proper fuming at me.
chat. This is going to be the end. Thank you very much for watching this episode of International Paddock Podcast. We'll be back with you again next Monday at 5 p.m. But you know what to do. In the meantime, go and get yourself something to eat. Get some popcorn. Why don't you go and have a cheeky power wank? Doesn't bother me. We're back live at 8:30 p.m. tonight for Papa Champs. Today is final day before playoffs, so a lot of action is happening. We already talked about that earlier on in the stream, so if you missed that, you know, watch over on YouTube.
Tough.
It'll be there. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and we will catch you again in the next one. Goodbye.
Any
Bye.
ladies of legal age who wants to take Papa Goose's advice, the last step, make sure to get me involved in the action. We're an inclusive bunch.
Hold on. What? Okay, guys, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Scott's horny. Really horny. Alright, I'll catch you guys later. What an idiot.